الأربعين السلبوبة يلفوتك مو دحين.
خالد مالك دنين عرش دود الأربعين السلبوبة يلفوتك مو دحين.
خالد مالك دنين عرش دود الأربعين السلبوبة يلفوتك مو دحين.
خالد مالك دنين عرش دود الأربعين السلبوبة يلفوتك مو دحين.
Sudanese Sufi Figures, الشيخ فرح ودتكتوك, Part 4. I'm delighted to welcome you, the audience, to the fourth episode in our series dedicated to Sheikh Farah ودتكتوك, a renowned Sudanese sage whose legacy has endured in popular memory through his remarkable wisdom, insight, and keen perception. In this episode, we continue our journey through a selection of stories and anecdotes that illustrate different aspects of his wisdom. We will revisit the well-known account of the farmer who came to him complaining of pain in his hand, explore his thoughtful and memorable conversation with a Bedouin friend who neglected prayer, and examine a famous prophecy attributed to him that was passed down through generations and which many believe was fulfilled with the construction of Sinnar Dam. So very delighted, the audience, once again to welcome you to our fourth encounter with the Sheikh Farah ودتكتوك. Stay with us.
صادفني غير السلبوبة يلفوتك مو دحين.
خالد مالك دنين عرش دود الأربعين السلبوبة.
So the audience in our fourth encounter with Sheikh Farah ودتكتوك here, just I would like another 3 stories and anecdotes that reflect his wisdom, his insight, and his wit. So the first story that I would like to share the audience is that famous story of البدري. So before I go further in presenting these 3 stories, I would like to draw your attention once again, the audience, that I based on sharing these stories from the noted Sudanese historian and researcher طيب محمد طيب, with special reference to his noted book Sheikh Farah ودتكتوك حلال المشبوك. So the first story, Sheikh Farah, may God have mercy on him, was known for speaking only words of wisdom, always grounded in deep insight and a keen understanding of the people around him. One day, a farmer named البدري complained to him of pain in his hand and said, Sheikh, please recite a blessing and pray for my hand. Sheikh, please recite a blessing and pray for my hand. Sheikh Farah took al-Badri's hand and began his incantation in his own unique and humorous style. يا ايد البدري، قومي بدري، اتوضي بدري، صلي بدري، ازرعي بدري، حشي بدري، احصدي بدري، كدي شوفك انت تنقدري. All Bedri's hand, rise early, perform your ablution early, pray early, cultivate the land early, with the fields early, harvest the crops early. then see whether anyone can surpass you or overcome you. So these lines reflect Sheikh Farah's characteristic wisdom. Instead of focusing solely on the complaint, he gently encouraged diligence, discipline, and productive work. His cure was not merely for the hand itself, but for the habits and conduct of the person who owned it, reminding him that effort, perseverance, and proper use of one's abilities are often the best remedy for many of life's difficulties. The underlying meanings is that a person who begins the day early performs his religious duties faithfully and applies himself diligently to his work and livelihood is destined for success. Such a person places himself in a position where others will find it difficult to surpass or outcompete him. The saying is therefore a call to discipline, initiative, perseverance, and hard work. Presenting these qualities are the essential keys to achievement and excellence. Such was one of the lessons that ought to be drawn from this story.
حدود الأربعين السلبوبة يلفوتك مدحين
خالد مالك تريد عرش دود الأربعين السلبوبة يلفوتك مدحين
خالد مالك تنين عرش دود الأربعين السلبوبة يلفوتك مدحين
خالد مالك تريد
To the second story. The audience, I would like to reminding you that I'm presenting Sheikh Farah ودتكتوك, the wise man of Sudan, and in our fourth encounter with him, I'm sharing stories and anecdotes that reflect his wisdom. So, among the sayings attributed to Sheikh Farah ودتكتوك, a prophecy that many people regarded as one of his remarkable insights. In my view, the speech here to طيب محمد الطيب. In my view, when he spoke about the Sinai River or the surrounding watercourse, he was not claiming knowledge of the unseen. Rather, he appears to have anticipated that human settlement and development would eventually expand into this region of central Sudan. His foresight was likely based on experience, observation, and understanding of the necessities of human habitation and growth. What he perceived through keen intuition is not unlike what modern scholars and planners may arrive at through study and accumulated knowledge. He is reported to have said, يا بحرنا الجاري بعد الحال يحفروك بالطواري ويطلعوك الضهاري. Sheikh Farah, by the way, here he is addressing the Blue Nile, addressing the Blue Nile River. Oh, our flowing river. In times to come, they will dig into you with machines and tools and send your waters to revive the thirsty highlands. The lines are often interpreted as a prediction of future human intervention in the landscape through engineering works, irrigation projects, and agricultural development, whereby water would be hastened to transform previously uncultivated land into productive and inhabited areas. So the Sheikh talk about building a dam on the river in the Sinnar region, the establishment of an agricultural area in the center part of the country, and his prophecy came into reality. For Jazeera scheme has been established in 1925 following the construction of Sinnar Dam by the British rulers during 1925s. That is 20th century, at the beginning of the 20th century.
صغير السلبوبة يلقى امرأة الماك شهير في الراس يلمك صغير السلبوبة أبوك بصاد الجبال أبوك بصاد الجبال تبراه والشعبة والجنزير خد كرسي للعديل وكورك قال يا غفير.
The very same context, and since the speech on Sinnar Dam, the prophecy of Sheikh Farah, to him also attributed another
وين يطير
lines, more lines attributed to Sheikh Farah, in which he is speaking about Sinnar Dam. I'm sharing. يا بحر سنار الجاري تحتك بنات الحواري، بعد الحال يحفروك بالطواري ويبنوك بالحجاري، وحكامك فوقك تباري. أو ريفر سنار، أو ريفر of Sinnar ever flowing with fair medians by your shores, pointing to the precious pearls that the river contain. In the years ahead, they shall carve channels from your stream and raise great stone structures upon you, while the rulers of the land trouble upon your waters. These lines are often understood as an expression of Sheikh Farah's remarkable foresight regarding the future development of Sinnar region. The imagery suggests the transformation of the landscape through construction, settlement, and public works, as well as the emergence of political authority and competition for the influence. Whether viewed as prophecy, intuition, or the insight of a keen observer of human society, the verses or the lines reflect an awareness of how centers of population, governance, and civilization tend to grow around vital sources of water. And Sheikh Farah prophecy has come to be a real one for the construction of the dam of Sinnar, the dam of Sinnar in 1925 has helped in the constructions and the establishment of many cities and villages, that is, connect the two banks of the river, the eastern bank of the river, and the western bank of the river. And that is a true prophecy. In short, the construction of Sinnar Dam has changed the lives and the lives of the population dramatically and remarkably till the present day.
تغني ليك البنية الدور عنزة في قرن وليس البوبة قدام الورطة ما هنية بتغدي الطير والحدية
To the final
ناس ستية
story.
عجيب النصر لي
On one occasion, Sheikh Farah asked a friend of his from the nomadic countryside who was known for neglecting the prayer. So the audience here, just I would like to share the third story in which she would like to experience Sheikh Farah wisdom for one of his friends from the nomads when they visited him while chatting. He told that he is neglecting the duty, the obligation of the performance of prayer. So just here I would like to share their dialogue. Why do you not perform your prayers? Sheikh Farah asked. The Bedouin replied, I will pray. I will pray, God willing. I will pray, God willing, after the winter has passed and summer arrives. Sheikh Farah, on hearing this last line, responded with the brief but powerful lines. أكان يتهدم الجيف قبال دخول الصيف الشورى كيف. If the river bank collapses before the coming of summer, what then will be your condition? These lines, Sheikh Farah employs a powerful metaphorical expression and addresses his listeners through language deeply rooted in the cultural imagery of the riverian environment. Rather than speaking directly about death, he used the phrase, if the river bank collapses before the arrival of summer, as a figurative allusion to the end of life. The Gif riverbank symbolizes the human condition, an earthly existence, while its collapse signifies death and the sudden termination of one's journey in this world. The lines derive their force from the fact that Sheikh Farah does not preach in a direct or confrontational manner. Instead, he leads his listener to contemplate his own mortality through a familiar image drawn from everyday life, from the local environment, by asking, what will your situation be? He gently but profoundly reminds the listener of the uncertainty of life and the need to prepare for the hereafter before it is too late. The antidote illustrates Sheikh Farah's distinctive methods of teaching. Rather than delivering lengthy sermons, he conveyed profound religious and moral lessons through concise, memorable verses. His sayings were often framed in an engaging poetic style that combined wisdom, simplicity, and vivid imagery, making them easy for ordinary people to understand, remember, and pass on from one generation to the next. What to be taken from this story? The story teaches the importance of not postponing religious duties, repentance, or righteous actions. Sheikh Farah reminds us that human life is uncertain and that no one can guarantee that tomorrow will come. The Bedouin intended to begin praying at a later time, but the Sheikhs wisely pointed out that death may arrive before those plans are realized. The lesson is therefore to act upon one's obligations without delay, making the most of the present moment rather than relying on an uncertain future. By this, dear audience, I came to the end of the episode till seeing you in another episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا القمرة الماك شهير يا الراس يا الماك صغير السيل بوبا
يفوتك مو دحين
يا القمرة الماك شهير يا الراس يا الماك صغير السيل بوبا
يفوتك مو دحين
أبوك بصاد الجبال أبوك بصاد الجبال تبراه الشعبة والجنزير خد كرسي للعديل وكورك قال يا غفير والسيف بدل الجفير والسيف بدل الجفير والعداك وين يطير شي ينصادفني كير السيل بوبا يا الفوتك مو دحين
خالد مالك تنين عرش دود الأربعين السيل بوبا يفوتك مو دحين
تغني ليك ضبيت الحدر ما بتبلع بوصله مر السيل بوبا
يفوتك مو دحين
تغني ليك ضبيت الحدر ما بتبلع بوصله مر السيل بوبا
يفوتك مو دحين
المكنة فوق بتكهاكي والمدفع تحته بيخر المكنة فوق بتكهاكي والمدفع تحته بيخر لا بخاف ولا بتر قدام العينيهم خدر السيل بوبا الفوتك مو دحين
خالد مالك تنين عرش دود الأربعين السيل بوبا يفوتك مو دحين
تغني ليك البنية ترعى نزا في قرنه لي السيل بوبا
يفوتك مو دحين
تغني ليك البنية ترعى نزا في قرنه لي السيل بوبا
يفوتك مو دحين
قدام الأرض الماشوية قدام الأرض الماشوية كلمت نجيضة ما هنية بتغدي الطير والحدية في الكبدة والناستية عجل جيب النصر ليا يا كبام نور قيا شمر ما تشمت علي السيل